My name is Clarence Craft. I was born in San Bernardino, California on September 23, 1921. I joined the Army in September of '44, and within several months I was serving with George Company, 382nd Infantry Regiment, 96th Infantry Division. I was a replacement to the division as they had suffered heavily in fighting on the Philippines. No matter, they treated me like a brother, and once they saw my marksmanship, I knew I would fit in. I was what they called a rifleman within my platoon, but I was a Deadeye, and I was proud to be part of this. We were attacking a hill called Hen Hill. Not sure where the name came from, but we heard the Japs established a critical part of their entire line of defense on this hill. The hill was no taller than 450 feet and somewhat of a knobby crag, full of trenches and caves. 2 different battalions had tried to take the hill over the last 10 days without success. At least, that's what we were told, and now it was our turn. It was slow at first. We kept stalling under intense machine gun fire. My platoon sergeant sent me and 5 of my buddies to seek out the enemy. We had lost a lot of good men over the last few weeks, and these 5 had become close buddies of mine. We hadn't gotten very far when machine guns opened up and grenades started landing around us. 3 of my buddies were wounded, and the other 2 were pinned down. I just stood up and started to shoot, and shoot accurately I did. You see, I'm a Deadeye, and we trained on marksmanship an awful lot, and it paid off. I was just trying to protect my buddies in hopes that the medics would take care of them. I kept moving up the hill, and before I knew it, I was at the crest of the hill, at which point I started to throw grenades. I kept throwing and throwing. I hadn't realized members of my platoon were right behind me, supplying me with grenades. Before I knew it, I had thrown 2 cases of grenades into the trenches. From my position, I was able to help direct the aim of members of my platoon as they threw grenades. It was loud as there were explosions all around. As they kept throwing grenades, I could see the enemy was confused, so I jumped into the trench. I didn't realize this was the main enemy trench, but there were Japanese everywhere, but I just started shooting, sometimes at point blank. I kept moving and firing. As I was moving down the trench, I found a machine gun. Wasn't long before I was able to wipe out this position. I kept going down the trench until the trench went into a cave. I threw a satchel charge into the cave, figuring I could close it off and provide some relief. To my surprise, charge didn't go off. I did what any Deadeye would have done and ran to the satchel charge and relit it, and then threw it back into the cave. This time it exploded and closed the entrance of the cave off with many Japs still in there. Next thing I knew, we had taken Hen Hill. This was our objective. They said what I did on that day on the hill helped win the battle. Heck, I did what any Deadeye would have done. About 6 months later, on a cool November day, President Harry S. Truman presented me with the Medal of Honor for my action. It was a difficult day, as the memories of my buddies, my fellow Deadeyes, who were lost on Okinawa, will still weigh heavily on my mind. My name is Clarence Craft, and I am a Deadeye.